Hey guys, it's me Courtney and welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to finally be reviewing the new Natasha Denona Sunrise Palette. Now if you guys don't know, Natasha Denona is a world-renowned makeup artist. If you actually go on the Natasha Denona website, it kind of talks about her life, her love of the arts, and how she actually got into makeup, which I thought was pretty awesome, so you guys should check that out. I have been putting off getting a Natasha Denona palette. Every time I go into a Sephora that carries Natasha Denona, I just feel like I swatch it and there's just nothing special about her shadows. I know her quality is supposed to be up there with, you know, Pat McGrath, but for me, I guess the Pat McGrath shadows have a little bit of something special to them, especially the shimmers, her packaging and everything. And I guess I've never felt like the Natasha Denona shadows stack up enough for me to pay like hundreds of dollars for her shadows. So this actual palette is $65, so it is a lot less money than her regular $129 palettes, but it is a little bit smaller and a little bit less heavy. I feel like this packaging is really sturdy. I love that it's not like cardboard or anything like that. It's very durable. Is that the word I'm looking for? It's not super heavy, but it doesn't feel cheap, if that makes sense. She still has it to where you can pop them out if you'd like to create your own palette, so you can pop these shadows out if you'd like. Obviously it comes with a mirror. It has a really sleek red metallic packaging, which I am a fan of, and the overall aesthetic of this palette I really like. I like the colors, I like the idea of the outside, love all of it. Online she does break down the kind of shadows that she has, like her creamy matte formula or her shimmer glitter or whatever she calls them. However, for the sake of just this video and what makes sense, I'm just gonna say that she has 7 mattes in here, as well as 5 shimmers, and then 3 shimmers that have like glitter in them, but also like 1 to 2 duochrome colors, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. So as far as the mattes go in this palette, I love them. I don't, even when I got my other like little mini Natasha Denona palette, I was in love with the mattes. I feel like the mattes are very buttery, very blendable. All of the matte shades in this, all of the yellows, the peaches, the pinks, they show up on my skin, and they're all very buildable. Now it is one of those things where a lot of like the deeper colors, like if you do use too much, it can tend to get a little bit patchy, but again, it is like a subtle buildup that you can get with these. If you want to light wash a color with the mattes, you can definitely get that, but they are buildable. You just want to be mindful. The more pigment you go in with, the more patchy it may get, just depending on what color. I think this was the only color. It was this one, and I think it was that one that I had the most like worry about as far as building them up too much. Now as far as the shimmers go, I feel like the shimmers are very soft and they're very finely milled. I love the texture of them. Even the glittery shades in this to me are finely milled. Like I don't feel it on my face. It doesn't feel like it's too heavy, too thick, too scratchy or anything like that. The shimmers are very smooth and they blend in really well with all of the colors in the palette. Now what I will say about the shimmers that almost made me hate this palette. Okay, so your shimmers in this palette are not going to pack a punch. I'm used to the Anastasia Beverly Hills shimmers and glitters where basically like you swatch it with your finger and you get like this super metallic look, or like even in the Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Caribe palettes, the shimmers in those are just so vibrant, so just in your face. So I'm always, when I put my shimmers on, that's what I tend to be used to, that's what I look for. And also, since you know we're kind of in that same bracket of like expensive palettes, if I bring up Pat McGrath shimmers are something special. Every time I put a Pat McGrath shimmer on my eye, like I have like a light brown eye color, it just makes my eyes pop. And it's a finely milled shimmer to the point that like it's just butter on my eyelid. I don't know, I guess when I think of a $129 palette, I feel like the shimmer should pack so much punch. So when I originally started using this palette, I was like, these shimmers are just, they're soft, they're not doing anything for me. And it wasn't until I went online on the Natasha Denona website and really read about her shadow formulations and what she does with her shadows and what they're actually meant to do, that I was like, I get it. The Natasha Denona shadows do not claim to be ultra metallic. They describe their shimmers and their glitters as a finely milled dazzling effect or transparent diamond-like sparkle. So when I read that, I was like, oh. So it's not supposed to be this ultra metal in your face reflective shimmer. It's supposed to be a light wash of a sheen to where you can see the sheen, like you can definitely see the sheen on my lids, but it's not in your face. Even with like the glitters in this palette, I feel like they were meant to more so be toppers. Especially, like I said on the website, it also said that some of the shades were gonna have different levels of opacity. So I was like, now I get it, because like I said, it was one of those things where I was full on prepared to love the color, love the layout, hate the shimmers, until I really understood what the shimmers were supposed to be. And once I actually figured that out, I was able to go back and recreate the looks that I did so that it made more sense with what the palette was actually supposed to do, if that makes sense. I guess if you think about it in terms of this, like some people have jobs where they like to wear makeup, but they can't do like a full face beat. They can't do like a graphic eyeliner. They can't do like super metallic colors. So it does make sense for Natasha Denona to give that everyday option. And in general, some people might not like glitter. Some people might just not like all of that extra stuff. They just want like a nice, easily blendable matte shadow with a little bit of shimmer, and we're good to go. And for that reason, I think that this palette is awesome. So this is a dual chrome color that is very beautiful, but it is a finely milled glitter, which works for me a little bit more as a topper. Or if I want, I can put like a little glue base down and get a little bit more opacity out of it. But it's not a color that you can build up and get exactly what you get in the pan on your eyelid, which is a little bit unfortunate. But again, I think that there is a way to use it and still make it very beautiful without it being in your face ultra blinding metallic. This one is a duochrome as well. This one is Aster. This color right here doesn't really do much for me. I have a ton of palettes that have this similar color, where it's like a blue, purple, pink kind of duochrome. And again, it works more like a finely milled glitter than just like the regular shimmer, and it's meant to be a topper, I think. But all of the rest of the shimmers are very, very beautiful. I like to do like a little wash of color with it. Like I said, I did do 3 looks, and in the very first look that I did, it was like a blown out sort of orange look, and then the shimmers just sort of did this thing that melted into my skin really beautifully. So I do appreciate the shimmers in this palette. I appreciate the mattes in this palette for number one, just showing up. And it is kind of like a nice contrast to have like these really, really bold, striking matte colors, and then like these really, really soft shimmers. You know what I mean? It's kind of awesome. One more thing, I do feel like this color right here is probably gonna be the most opaque shimmer in this palette. This one is the one that I use the most to do like the highlighting, like I did it today up here and on the bottom. It's a really, really good like inner corner highlight. It's very like, it's probably the most in your face shimmer that this palette has, whereas the rest of them are very subtle, very beautiful, very soft. You have to want these kind of shimmers in your collection, otherwise you're gonna be slightly disappointed. With that being said, I absolutely recommend this specific Sunrise palette from Natasha Denona. Absolutely. I feel like for $65 for what you get for the looks that I can create, especially if you're somebody that loves warm tones, I'm always here for it. Now, would I actually buy this palette if it was bigger for $129? Absolutely not. Like I said, I appreciate these colors. I appreciate this palette. I appreciate the light shimmer of it all. Like, I really, really do enjoy that for $65 for this palette. Any more than that, like if it was $80, I'd probably be a little bit more on the fence, but $129 for this exact palette but bigger, just, it's not worth it to me. I feel like the formula, while beautiful and unique, it's not unique enough for me to pay $129 for this. If Natasha Denona can keep her palettes at $65 with this exact same formula, I will recommend it to anybody. I would say go out and get this palette. It's very beautiful. I love it. I've gotten a lot of looks out of it. However, if we're going back to the $129 palettes, I don't see me purchasing those. But hopefully, like I said, hopefully going forward this is the new norm. And if that's the case, then I'm here for it. All the way here for it. Alright guys, that about does it for me. I hope this video is helpful for you guys. If so, please give me a thumbs up. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video if the mood suits you, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.